Hi Bobcats, it's Miss Lee, and today we're going to do a little bit of mental math. We're going to learn how to multiply and divide powers of 10. To make it really easy, we can do it in our head or just do it really quickly without actually having to do any kind of long multiplication. So we're going to call this slide to the right. Okay, watch what happens when we multiply a decimal number by 10. Okay, remember we've talked about how to multiply with decimals. We can just count how many decimal places we need, which in this case, there's 3 in the first factor. The second factor doesn't have any, so we need a total of 3. Then we can take the decimal point out, multiply as if they were whole numbers, and it would be 234 times 10, which is what's happening here. Then you go in and place your decimal point, 1, 2, 3. The decimal point goes between the 2 and the 3. So how did it change compared to this 0.234? Well, the decimal point moved one place to the right, didn't it? It went from in front of the 2 to being behind the 2. What happens if we multiply by 100? Well, when we multiplied by 10, if we slid one place to the right, then how many times do you think we're going to slide multiplying by 100? 2 places to the right. So we would get 23 4/10. All we're doing is sliding the decimal point to the right, the number of zeros that are in the factor of 10, the power of 10. So this power of 100 has 2 zeros. So we slide the decimal point 2 places to the right. This is for multiplication now. Here, our power of 10 only had 1 zero, so we only slid the decimal point 1 place to the right. What if you're multiplying by 1,000? How many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3. So we slide that decimal point 1, 2, 3 places to the right, and we get 234. That's all there is. To multiply by powers of 10, like 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, so on, all you do is slide the decimal point to the right the same number of places as there are zeros in that power of 10. So let's do some examples. 1 and 5600ths times 10. There's 1 zero in the power of 10, so I slide the decimal point 1 place to the right, and I get 15 6/10. Number 2, we're multiplying by 100. There's 2 zeros, so we slide the decimal point 2 places to the right, and we get 38. For 1,000, there are how many zeros? 3. So we're going to slide that decimal point 1, 2, 3 places to the right, and we get 999. Example 4. There's 1 zero in our power of 10, so we slide that decimal point 1 place to the right, and we get 153. And number 5, we're multiplying by 100, which has 2 zeros, so slide that decimal point 2 places to the right, and we get 162. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and work the remaining examples on your own, then come back and check your answers. Okay, for number 6, there's only 1 zero, so you slide that decimal point 1 place to the right and you get 8 5600ths. On number 7, our 100 has 2 zeros, so we slide it 2 places. Now, when you slide it 2 places, you end up with a hole, don't you? You have to annex that 0, so you get 1160. Number 8, you get 1200. You're sliding the decimal 3 places. There's not enough, you have 1.2. There's only 1 digit, but you still have to slide it 3 places. So in the holes, you're going to put zeros. That's how we get the 1200. For number 9, 2450, again, you're going to slide it 3 places. There is 1 hole, so we had to annex that 0. And then number 10, 111 11/100ths. How'd you do? It's pretty easy. So this is mental math that you can do, or all you have to do is just think about sliding that decimal point versus having to do the long multiplication. Do you really want to sit there and do 1.1111 times 100? No, not when you can do it mentally. Now we're going to slide to the left. If we slid to the right for multiplication, what operation do you think we're going to do now? Division, because division is the opposite of multiplication and left is the opposite of right. We're making the numbers smaller. So when we're dividing by a power of 10, you're going to slide that decimal point to the left the same number of times as there are zeros in that power of 10. So here we're dividing by 10. There's only 1 0. So we're going to slide that decimal point one place to the left, and we get 12 3/10. The explanation here is where they just change it to a mixed number. They show it in fraction form, the division in fraction form, and change it to a mixed number to show that it's 12 3/10, which is what we got when we slid it to the left. So let's practice. Oh, sorry. So dividing by 100 is like dividing by 10 twice, or 2 decimal places. So 123 divided by 100, you would slide that decimal point 2 places and get 1 23/100. The same thing for 1,000. There are 3 decimal places, so we slide it 3 places and we get 123 thousandths. All right, let's practice. So 2 54/100 divided by 10. How many zeros are there? 1. We're dividing, so we're getting smaller. If you slide it to the right, your number gets bigger. So we need to slide it to the left once, and we get 254 thousandths. Now if we divide it by 100, there are 2 zeros, so we have to slide it twice. Once, twice. We've got that whole, so you're going to have to annex a 0. So you get 0.254. Hope you can read that. All right, 180 divided by 100, 2 zeros. Remember, in a whole number, that invisible decimal point goes at the end. So place the decimal point first, and then slide it your 2 places to the left, and you get 1 and either 80/100 or 1 8/10, either one. Okay, divided by 1,000, there are 3 decimals. So here we go. 3 zeros. So move it 3 decimals. 1, 2, 3, and we get 0.11643. Can you guys read that number? All right, last example. There's 1 0, so we slide the decimal point 1 place to the left, and we get 0.0025. And that's all there is to it.